Alright guys, so I thought today we could go ahead and take a look at what's the actual difference between the Z Fold 5 and the Google Pixel Fold now that both phones are out, launch. Obviously the Z Fold 5, technically not in consumers' hands yet, but you can still pre-order it right now. But we have the official specs for both devices. So starting off right away, both these devices are going to be $1,800, right? So the same exact price tag wise. If you're picking up either one, you're not saving any money. The OS that both of these launch with is Android 13. Obviously, both of them have up to 4 years of support with Samsung and with Google here. So, meaning you're going to get 4 years of updates. So, it's not like Microsoft where after a year or so they just out of there. No, you do get 4 years of updates. They both give you a 7.6-inch OLED inside display. Now, of course, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 does allow a stylus to be used in the inside display, while the Pixel Fold does not. So a little bit different there. If you want to use a pen or S Pen, you can't use it on the Pixel Fold, while you can use it on the Z Fold 5. Keep in mind that the Z Fold 5 is a 5th generation product, while the Pixel Fold is a 1st gen product. What that means that there's going to be problems with being 1st gen. There's be some glitches, some errors, some problems that happen that we simply will, find out about over time. And with the 2nd iteration, it will be fixed. The main screen aspect ratio is a 21.6 by 18, or 5 by 6, and then of course the Pixel Fold is 6 by 5. The Pixel Fold does give you a beautiful outside display that's more like a candy bar cell phone, while the Z Fold 5 still goes with the very skinny and narrow outside display, which I know a lot of people truly dislike. The cover display is 6.2-inch OLED, and of course the Pixel Fold is going to be 5.8 inches. So it is smaller technically. It is more of a candy bar cell phone rather than a very small, thin 6.2 inches. This cover screen aspect ratio is 1 by 9 or 4 by 9. The max refresh rate on both inside and outside displays is going to be 120 hertz refresh rate, which is pretty much at this point just, standard across everything. The processing unit in the Galaxy Z Fold 5 gives you the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which makes it the most powerful affordable smartphone on the planet. While the Pixel Fold comes with a Google Tensor G2 chip. It's not a G3, it's just a G2. It's the equivalent of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. So it's very equal to a Gen 1 processor, which makes sense because when this came out, this phone, which I said it came out back in May, but when it came out, the most powerful smartphone on the planet that was foldable was the Galaxy Z Fold 4 that had the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. So it's less powerful than the Z Fold 5. Both phones come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. It does come with, for the Z Fold 5, you get up to a terabyte option, while for the Pixel Fold, you only get 256 and 512 options. The Pixel Fold does come with a 4,821 milliamp battery, while the Galaxy Z Fold 5 only comes with a 4,400 milliamp battery. So a smaller battery on the Z Fold 5, which is kind of funny because it's actually more powerful, but yet it has a small battery. For cameras, the Z Fold 5 gives you a 50 megapixel, 12 megapixel, and a 10 megapixel with 3 times optical zoom on the back. The Pixel Fold gives you a 48 megapixel, 10.8 megapixel, and a 10.8 megapixel on the back with 5 times optical zoom. Which, to be honest, I've said this many times, I'll say it a million times in all my videos in case this is your first video watching. The megapixels in any camera does not matter. Both these phones have tremendous sensors, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. A megapixel is a million pixels in an image, and unless you're printing out that image, you're not going to really notice the difference after you get past 10 megapixels. So if you upload social media, for example, it automatically gets downscaled to around 8 megapixels anyway. Front cameras, you get a 10 megapixel for the Z Fold 5 on the very front, and then you get a 4 megapixel under display camera on the inside display, just like last year. For the Pixel Fold, you get a 9.5 megapixel camera on the outside, and on the inside display, you get an 8 megapixel. Keep in mind, it is not under display; it is in the bezel, so it's a little bit different. Video recording, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 is 8K at 24 FPS, 1080p and 4K at 30 and 60 FPS, slow motion 1080p video support at 240 FPS, super slow motion 720p video support at 960 FPS, and hyperlapse 4K video support at 30 FPS. For the Pixel Fold, it gives you HDR 4K recording at 30 and 60, 1080p at 30 and 60, slow motion up to 240, 4K time lapse with stabilization, astrophotography time lapse. So you can look at stars. For the sensors in both these phones, you have the same exact power button fingerprint sensor, and both of them work very, very, very good. Both these phones come with an IPX8 rating. There was rumors the Z Fold 5 was going to come with an IP58, but it ended up not, so neither of these phones are dust resistant. Both these phones do give you 5G connectivity. They both have wireless charging, and of course stylus support, yes for the Z Fold 5, no for the Pixel Fold. The color options, you get icy blue, you get phantom black, cream, gray, and blue for the Z Fold 5. For the other option, for the Pixel Fold here, obsidian and porcelain are your only options. Availability, right now you can pick up the Pixel Fold for $17.99. For the Z Fold 5, if you want to pick it up, you can pre-order it right now and receive it on August 11th for $1,800, or you can pick it up on August 11th when it does release for the masses, and you can buy it then. So which of these phones is better in my personal opinion? It really comes down to your personal preference. I don't really think you can make the argument that, which phone you should get, because if you're going to get a Z Fold series and you're really committed to it, get a Z Fold 4. Period. End of story. There is no reason to get a Z Fold 5. Get a Z Fold 4. It makes a lot more sense. And then what you're talking about is a Z Fold 4. If you get it used or even brand new, you're going to get it for probably around $1,100, $1,200. And you can get it same exact specs pretty much as a Google Pixel Fold. Those are very comparable. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.